there's going to be plenty of LSU baseball games starting at the normal time, so we can let them get this one.
Yeah, and like I said, right now we have the 5th inning, top of the 5th. It is 3-0 LSU. We'll keep constant updates on that throughout the show. Jeff, the big one yesterday, obviously, Saints running back Alvin Kamara, which a word that comes out, and I think a lot of people might not know the true definition of what indicted means, but when you hear that, you definitely know it's not good.
Well, I mean, to me, it's like, yeah, I'm not a legal scholar. We're going to have someone on here at a couple minutes to help break it down a little bit. I know Mike and Bobby talked to Craig Mordock yesterday, and I thought he gave a lot of interesting information. And a lot of the questions, like, it's going to be a little redundant, so if anyone listened to it yesterday is going to listen to it again today. I apologize for that. But I do think there's some stuff that was talked about yesterday that we can dive into more, and so that's kind of going to be what I'm going to ask Drew about. But, yeah, I think to me the biggest thing is it's going to go to court at all, which for a long time I was thinking maybe this is just going to be settled out of court and we'll never hear about it until, you know, so-and-so and he's going to get suspended. But, nope. As of right now, March 2nd, that's going to be the court date. And, yeah, it's real, very real.
Yeah, and I know we heard from C.J. Mordock last night saying, too, he was surprised kind of that we've even gotten to this point and that they didn't have any kind of financial, you know, settlement between the two sides and figure Alvin just pay up and be done with this problem. But it's just not going away that easily, unfortunately. And just a complete bad look for Kamara. And I know we kind of joked about it before we, you know, in our pre-show meeting thing. There's another NFL player involved in this thing, but it's really just getting glossed over completely.
Yeah, it's Chris Lamons, the Bengals cornerback.
And I guess that's why, because people are like, who's that?
Yeah, I've never heard of him. But apparently he's friends with Alvin. Yeah, it's going to be something we have to talk about. We talked about it all last offseason, and nothing ended up happening. And now we're talking about it all this offseason. And, you know, it's a weird situation because at a certain point here, you want to talk about, okay, what is this going to mean for the Saints next year? Sure. What type of suspension will Alvin be looking at, regardless of what happens with the court case? Because even if it, you know, ends up being settled out of court, you know, this is still a suspension. That doesn't mean anything for the NFL, right? Literally regardless of what happens in the court case, it's almost impossible to think that Alvin's not going to see a suspension, right? Just based on what we know, based on the police report, based on the video that is available. We don't have all of it. You had kind of a recording of a recording that was leaked to TMZ, and that's kind of the only thing we've seen right now. But, like, based on that, just the optics alone will be enough for you to say, like, yeah, he's violated some sort of policy, whatever you want to point to, whatever line in the personal conduct policy you want to point to, he's violated something. But, like, before you can even get to that point, you have to determine what type of, you know, legal situation Alvin is facing. Because, like, it's not unheard of for professional athletes to have to do jail time. It has happened, but it is incredibly rare. You know, you think about a Plaxico Burress who actually shot himself in the leg and then went to jail for, I think it was an unregistered weapon, right? He ended up going to jail for. Mike Vick, obviously, with the whole dogfighting scandal. And, you know, I think Mike actually got back. Mike did come back and play with the Eagles. I don't know if Plaxico ever got back. I think I think he probably ended up on a team, but I don't think he was ever relevant as a player again.
The same guy, right.
And so you have to, you know, it's like, that is a reasonable thing that might happen here if the courts in Las Vegas, who I'm obviously not familiar with, decide that this is something that they want to make an example out of him with. And if that's the case, then, you know, it changes everything. And so, yeah, it's just a bizarre situation that, you know, you wish Alvin had never put himself in the first place. You know, because now you're just kind of sitting on your hands and waiting.
What's something that I think about is, do you think this case at all and the whole incident weighed on him at all this season? I know he didn't have Alvin Kamara-like numbers, but I don't feel like it was something that something off the field was holding him back kind of thing. I never felt like this case was a hindrance. There was a time that he wasn't really talking to us, but then, you know, one day we were in the locker room and he's like, no, I'm not avoiding you guys, and, you know, kind of like just pulled up and sat down with us. It was kind of weird, but just throughout the season, he didn't seem like the same guy, and I understand that obviously when you have a legal issue weighing down on you, there's obviously in the back of your mind constantly, but was it something that you think affected his play at all?
Yeah, I mean, at a personal level, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, like I would say that he didn't seem like he was having as much fun, just doing the the off the field stuff as he probably would have in the past. Like, we didn't talk to him as much. He wasn't kind of engaging as often. But I won't say that affected him on the field. Like, I never got the sense that, like, you were seeing a distracted player out there or anything like that.
Right.